Briggsy's not going to sign off on his life rights.
No, he will.
He will.
He
He'll be
will.
first queuing up. Fucking French head. Oh, hi. This is the Madforitpodcast. I'm Adam. This is Josh. And this is Tom. And we're the boys live on the road to Wembley to see Oasis live in 2025. And to start this week's episode, after the complete disaster of last time.
Terrible. Gonna need an answer from both of you.
The Beehive.
The rain.
Oh, that I said the.
Absolutely.
Tom
terrible.
decided to do
Shame.
another quiz to
Yeah, so
embarrass us all again.
let's see if we can pull it around, boys. Right, quick fire. Maybe not so quick fire.
Slow fire.
Slow fire. Noel wrote 105 songs. How many did Liam write?
He wrote 3 songs.
15.
13.
Oh, that's the point.
That's the point.
That's
You
the
have
point.
to
That's the
keep
point.
your own points. How many million albums sold worldwide for the boys?
35.
I'm going to say 14 million.
14?
14.
70.
Yes, that's a point.
Fuck,
That's a
boy.
point.
What venue
Miles
did they
away.
get their name from? I'll give you a hint. It's Oasis blank blank.
Is it Oasis Sandwich Shop in Piccadilly?
I think it's like Oasis Health Club.
Oasis Leisure Centre.
That's a health club. That's a health
Yeah,
club.
that
Half a
is
point.
got-
Half
Half
a
point.
point.
Okay, that's half a point.
Which Beatle wrote the instrumental song Wonderwall Music that then they then stole Wonderwall title from?
John Lennon.
I'll go McCartney then.
George.
Oh,
It's George Harrison.
The most
Jordan.
disliked
I was like,
Beatle
ah.
of theirs.
Yeah.
Right, here's a big one. Morning Glory beat Spice Girls and Madonna for the best-selling 90s album with 14 platinum awards. Who broke that record?
Robbie Williams.
In the 90s.
No, just like
Ever.
pass.
Oh,
Yeah,
Coldplay.
And I'm going to need an amount. So they won.
Oh.
So it was Oasis with 14. Who broke it and how many mil?
That's fair.
What,
Just
can you give us like
throw me
a
an- I don't need
ballpark
an-
of the era? Give us a clue.
Are they a British band?
But remember, this could be anyone.
Okay,
Well,
so...
they've got to be British. But
Okay, so Taylor Swift with, like...
no, it has to be UK.
Oh,
Sorry.
it has to be UK.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's going to be
About 2008, 10,
Coldplay
12.
with Living La Vida Loca.
And how many?
And it's
how
going
many
to be...
records?
They've sold
It's got to be more than 14. Give me a number.
104 million.
No, it's platinum awards. How many awards? So
Oh, they got-
Oasis got
gosh.
15.
Oasis got.
15.
Oasis got. All
Like,
right,
this
great.
is-
Right, Coldplay with
15.
15. What do you got? Give me a
I'll
band and a
go
number.
for. That's a bit early for Ed Sheeran, isn't it? That's what I'm thinking.
Could be anyone UK.
I think you wouldn't know when Ed Sheeran came out, so you might have given us a duff year.
Yeah, you'd
So
be
I'm
very
going to
right.
say Ed Sheeran, and it was 14 Oasis. You said
Right.
15. I've got to go 16 then.
You were the closest. It was Adele's 21 with 16.
16, half a point.
You're clawing your way up there, mate. Barely. What company sued Oasis for stealing their jingle in Shaker Maker with "I like to teach the world to sing"?
Coca-Cola.
Correct.
You don't even get an answer.
GCSE physics. An object becomes positively charged because it has lost what?
An electron.
Neutron.
Electron.
Was it electron? Was it actually?
Right, last one. What band have quoted Oasis as being a major influence to start their band?
Blossoms.
The Beatles.
Coldplay.
Fuck.
Who won then, Tom?
That was you by a landslide.
Okay. Well,
Yeah,
I think we
yeah.
have the punishment, don't we?
We do have the punishment. We've got a delicious
Down the
summer
hatch.
fruits Oasis for the loser there.
In
So
the
we-
depths of winter, what better
Yeah.
than Oasis
better?
summer fruits?
Oh, what a way to start your December with
Let's
a
take a
delicious
dip.
fruit. Here we go.
But they could have
Yeah,
called it
don't-
like winter berries, couldn't they, for
Missed the
Christmas?
trick there.
Summer berries, mate. You don't get these berries in the winter. It's out of season. All right, here we go. Cheers. Just a bullshit quiz.
Look at that. Mad lad.
It doesn't really make you burp, having done it in the previous episode, because there's no fizz to it. It's kind of weird, isn't it?
I put the burp on for dramatic effect.
It's like you're down
I
in
won't
water.
do that next time.
So,
Sorry, guys. Right, there was an Oasis question here that I had a question about.
Coca-Cola.
Which Beatle? Wonderwall music.
Uh,
Oasis
Noel
Leisure
wrote
Centre.
this many songs. Liam wrote this many songs.
Yes, that was it. So what are... Because off the top of my... head, that was real. I would think we've got Little James,
Right?
Songbird,
Hmm.
and then did he write another one of those like bad ones we had the other day?
You're asking
yeah,
the
he wrote half of
complete
them.
wrong person.
He wrote half of them.
Oh, Bleecker Bell or whatever he's called.
Andy Bell.
Andy Bell.
Bell,
yeah,
not the Bellster. Come on.
Yeah.
he's the
Yeah,
Bell
so
Tower, the
what
Bell
are the
Tower.
other 13 songs? It's 13 pieces of art.
Yeah.
Is that so? They've only got 100 and I
Well,
said
that was according
only,
to the trivia website that I just picked it
but
up
they've
from.
only got 100 and was it 18 songs?
Yeah, but that's
Good math.
I mean, that's a lot, and it's good, but I would have thought they'd had more than that. Like,
well, I'm sure there's more that like aren't released.
Maybe that's just
That's,
the
that's
album
like the
tracks.
albums and then
Yeah,
the couple of
yeah.
B-sides, single B-sides, and
Yeah.
Maybe the
compilation.
website was full of shit.
I want to know now. We need a dedicated episode to Liam's 13.
Liam's big.
We should put them
13.
into an album.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I bet someone's done
Liam's
that. I
album.
bet someone's done
If
that.
if
Yeah.
Noel didn't exist,
Yeah.
this is what Oasis would be.
Good on him. That's way more than I thought he would have actually like.
Yeah.
written and, like,
Well,
strung
maybe not
together.
good on him because it might be shite.
But speaking of like writing songs and contributing to music and albums, what about a foe that we're finding nowadays? The foe of AI.
It's
The
coming
fear
for
of
us.
AI taking over music and making better music than we used to listen to.
Well, did I tell you I watched Terminator for the first time the other day?
Yeah, it's
And I watched it based on your recommendation. Again, this is something I should have seen 25 years ago.
Yeah.
Why have you
And
not seen it?
Because I've seen the second one so many times. I assumed that I wouldn't. I don't know. It passed me. Right? That's my fault. But I watched it specifically because there's a quote in there where he's in the car and he's like,
But these are new. They look human. Sweat, bad breath, everything. Very hard to spot.
and she's like, when's that gonna happen?
Not yet. Not for about 40 years.
And here we are to the year, 40 years since Terminator. AI's taken over. I'm reading about AI all the time. AI's created its own AI, which can do things. I watched a chatbot, AI bot thing where it can take over your desktop based on a prompt and go online and find stuff for you and create stuff. And that bot got bored halfway through and Googled Yellowstone Park to look at pictures of Yellowstone Park.
That's not real, surely.
That's real. I said, well, what's the video of it? Yeah.
No, I don't
Yeah.
believe that for one
Yeah.
second. I used ChatGPT and I was like, who won the FA Cup in 2006? And they got it wrong. So there's my proof.
yeah. I used it and it just only watched Nebworth videos and just Oasis like videos the whole time.
What's the best Oasis
yeah,
song?
it just kept watching the whole time
Lila.
and then talking to me about like why it's going to give me trivia about it.
Do you say please and thank you when you talk to AI in case
I've-
the bots come back for
Yeah.
us and we
I've
were
never
like
actually
polite?
used AI ever.
Oh,
Because I'm one of the pure ones.
You are.
I'm going to be the ones you take up on like the stocks when the revolution happens and they cut my head off with like a laser.
are they going to put me in the goo because I was polite
Yeah,
and just harvest my organs?
Maybe we're all AI.
yeah.
Maybe.
Right
you're
now.
you're going to be one of the flesh sacks.
I already am.
I'm Sarah Connor.
AI and Oasis, though,
Yep.
is an interesting one.
Yes.
Because in that lull, when there was no Oasis, AI-sis
Oasis. Yeah. Can you say that on there?
existed.
Yeah.
AI-sis came out. And it's quite weird, isn't it?
So basically, the first slither of AI usage that we got on a mass scale for everyone was a band made an album and they trained Liam's a cappella vocal tracks from the classic Oasis stuff we know and love, and they trained that as the AI model for the voice, and then they overlaid the voice onto their music, thus creating the closest thing we could get to a Liam Gallagher singing for Oasis in 2023. This was last year.
Mm.
What was the first like AI song that you heard? Like, because there's something in the similar
Crazy
lines.
Frog.
I heard this. Somebody took all the lyrics of Red Hot Chili Peppers. They got an AI to look at them all, and it made a song called Tool Shed. I think he did all the instrumental, but it made a song with the lyrics of Anthony Kiedis, and it was called "I'm a Tool Shed." And I remember it being like kind of janky, and you could see like the seams of where it's got ideas from taking lyrics of other
Says
songs.
California 1,000 times.
So I'm excited. I'm assuming
Yeah.
we're going to listen to these.
Yes, we are, and we're going to see what we think.
Yeah, I can't wait to see how seamless that is now versus what it was in 2019.
Okay, so let's take a listen to Oasis, The Lost Tapes, Volume 1, and see what we think about the AI trained model of Liam's voice on Real Musicians recordings. Right, boys, so that was Breezer with the AI Liam model. What do we think?
Actually, the first one, get out of my head.
Out of my mind.
Out of my mind.
Yeah.
I mean, it could have been
Yeah,
the
the
other way,
could have
couldn't
been
it?
out of
your
Really,
mind.
really generic. Sounded actually a bit like Liam's more recent solo
Okay.
stuff, I thought, rather than Oasis.
Yeah.
But I suppose is it more trained on his voice
It's what,
rather than his
and then what the
lyrics?
band decide to do is kind of
Yeah.
up to them. So it's kind of
Yeah, it seems like really like the instrumentation, especially on the second song we heard, wouldn't really strike. There's kind of an element at the beginning, but then it seems a bit more not quite Oasis. It was quite fast paced. I don't know if it was just the speakers. It sounded
yeah.
quite
My
like
speakers are shocking.
phonetic and kind of stuff. I can't imagine like Oasis doing something like that. It seems a bit too modern. There's like definitely a spin on Oasis versus Oasis, but like you said, the band wrote the
Yeah,
instrumentation
yeah,
for
yeah.
that, so it's their take on it. But lyrically, like vocals, yeah, it sounds like it. There's a bit of a weirdness to it. I don't know if it's the effects on the voice.
Yeah, because it has to kind of hit like
If
an
it
auto
hides
tune. It
that.
has to kind of bounce in a region.
Yeah, if it still hasn't got that human element in it. But it's interesting. But then again, I wouldn't listen to it because it's not
Yeah.
Liam Gallagher.
Yeah.
But also, I think it's like so half baked, even from like an AI perspective. And like everything should be AI. It should be the lyrics and the vocal and the music. Everything, like they've written them lyrics, which is obviously like good, like terrific job there to do that. But that's not AI, is it?
Yeah.
I want
Very
it
true.
completely AI.
Well, you know
just
what?
coming from nowhere.
I might have something special for you because I found a YouTube channel today, and we're going to see what they have to say for themselves about, fully automated AI music. Let's have a go. Liam Gallagher, Parasite. Now that's the most popular one on that YouTube channel. We can't confirm if that's fully AI or what part of that's AI. I'm assuming it is, just because it's where we are with technology, and there's lots of them on that website that are just, here's another one, here's another one, here's another. So I'm assuming there's prompted. That's what we get out of it. Maybe we can confirm that later down the line in the edit. But what do we think of Parasite?
I mean, that didn't sound anything like Oasis to me at all. Bit of Liam's vocal on the verse, but the chorus does not sound anything like any
The
Oasis
comments
song
were
I've ever
lighting
heard.
up. The comments love that.
The comments loved
Great
it.
work, biblical. Rock and roll's back.
I just can't believe that.
It's not that it's a robot.
Yeah, it's
There's
AI
nothing-
generated.
There's nothing rock and roll about it.
Okay, here's a question. Could you ever love Oasis so much that you just need more, and you would just have an AI as just to have something more?
But surely, if
Would
you,
that ever suffice? Would
I
that ever
can't
fill your
imagine loving
plate?
something that much that you would take on something that's nothing to do. Like it's like an imitation. It's not
Yeah.
the real thing.
Yeah,
Like
that's what you said.
surely,
right?
if you love something so much, you don't want to hear it portrayed.
Yes.
In that way, like you want it to be authentic. You don't want to listen to something fake of it because then it's not the thing you love. It's somebody imitating it, and that's not what you want. But maybe there is somebody who's out there. Like when I was a kid, I used to love really gimmicky things. Like I'd love songs that were playing
Crazy
double
Frog.
speed on
Yeah,
YouTube.
yeah,
I'm like, this is
yeah.
the funniest thing. Download it. It's like there's no need. But maybe as a kid, you'd love it. You'd be like, oh my god, have you heard this Oasis song? But it's not Oasis, and that's cool to you and interesting.
Yeah.
It's
yeah, I
Alvin
guess
and the
so.
Chipmunks played at double
Yeah.
speed.
Yeah, exactly.
What was the hamster song? Do you remember that?
Oh yeah.
I had that on cassette. That was amazing.
You actually had that on cassette.
Yeah.
It was a website that you just went on. It was
Oh, mate, this was
always
like
there.
1998 or whatever. This was Oasis, hamster song. That's all there was in my life.
Like moving on from the completely AI thing, is there room for sort of partial AI? Like I know there's that ABBA Voyage thing, which has a live band,
Yes.
and a lot of it's done with motion capture. But again, what you're seeing on the stage isn't real. It's a recording essentially.
Yeah.
Would you see an Oasis version of that?
Yeah, I would. Yeah, definitely.
No, I wouldn't.
I'm quite against it as a concept
No.
because
Yeah, I saw the ABBA thing. Took my wife there for Christmas last year.
she hated it.
She's actually, well, we loved it. The weird thing was, I think there's a disconnect. What we found is that you got standing and seating. So we were standing, and it was like a Tuesday night or something. It wasn't the best time to go, but
You really treated her.
it was
Your
cheap.
present. We're going
Sorry,
to
babe.
Tuesday. It's cheaper.
But people didn't know how to react because you got the band there. But I wasn't 100% convinced the band was live because the sound was so, like the cymbals weren't loud on something else, or I was like, is that live? And it took me almost the whole thing to really try and figure that out. But the weird thing was that people didn't know how to react to these people on stage because they're kind of looking through you. It's not like Liam going like, come on then, you slags. And so everyone was kind of dancing because basically they were playing the music. But the interaction wasn't there. And they had this weird thing where between, they do like 3 or 4 songs, and then one of them would come out and do like hi, so isn't this weird? We're in the future. And it was this really weird kind of thing where they'd stop. But in the script for that, they would pause for laughs. And if people didn't always laugh, and the laugh wasn't always as long as the pause. So people would be like, isn't it weird to be here in the future? And yeah, here we are. And then you'd be like, and then sometimes the laugh would go over the next line because the joke actually was quite funny. And you'd be like, anyway, and you couldn't hear any of it. And then, yeah, it was weird. And then for some reason they cut to like a lot of like anime kind of, not anime, that's not the right word, like CGI voyeuristic. There was just nothing to do with ABBA. And then halfway through they played Waterloo on Top of the Pops. They just played that video.
It's like an interval almost.
Well, yeah, they just didn't CGI it or whatever. So I was like,
ran out of money.
Yeah.
So the biggest song they didn't even play.
No,
like
they just like played Waterloo on a massive screen.
It's really funny, like with how high tech that show is, that they can't just have someone pressing the button to play the next bit after the joke, like actually a real person riding the laughter.
Pauses.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it goes
still really clunky, like a bad Disney ride or something like
it was
that.
a little bit like that. But we were dancing, we were having a good time. We were trying to have fun with it and like have a good time. But it didn't. I just don't think it landed with people for some reason. That was like my big takeaway from that. Is you think if you play it in a nightclub and everyone has a great time, but when you're trying to get that interaction, so if Oasis did it, like they interact even more, right? Because it's more about like the revving up of the crowd and the shirtiness of it. So if you're just basically watching like a video game of Oasis in your living room, you're like, yeah, all right, just put Nebworth on, like, you know.
I guess, but because it's an officially endorsed thing, like I want to go see that ABBA thing. I'm not in a rush to see it, but it'd be interesting because I'm like, I know they're not there, so my expectation of what I'm going to, maybe not at the cost of what it is, because it's like 70 quid to go still.
Not on a Tuesday.
And not on a Tuesday. Yeah, my mate, your mate got you
2 for 1.
But yeah, so I'd be well keen, like if there was an Oasis one to go see, I'd be like, there's some kind of production value to it. And I'll go see it, but it's like you'd go see a cover band. And it's not the real thing. It's someone actually just pretending and playing dress
up.
But
the physicality is there, and that's what's lacking.
It's
in
the physicality
thing, like,
rather than
the energy and the heat in the room and like all these kind of things. Have you seen the Roy Orbison hologram? Can we put that up? Because that is so fun. It's not a hologram. It's like a guy badly dressed as Roy Orbison as the hologram. So it's like, what are we doing with? Like, it's not even Roy. Just get that guy out there to do a tribute thing rather than bizarre.
Is this where an Oasis one would fall down though? Which is ABBA? They're very like dance routines, costume changes. Whereas what is an Oasis one actually going to look like? You might as well just put like
blokes on a stage,
flat screen TV on its side.
They could have costume changes at any time. They just
different Parker for every song.
Yeah.
Oh, that was another thing about the ABBA thing is they had the stage itself, but then they had the like stadium screens.
Yeah.
In a very small venue. So when you saw them up close, it was just like, this isn't great. You would have actually been better just having them like, they're kind of far away and they kind of look a bit real out there. But then when you see them like that, it's just like, this is just like PS2. It's like,
I would be interested to go to that ABBA thing, but I don't want to because then there will be an Oasis one, or there'll be like a Bowie one, and I'm gonna want to go to all of them.
You're gonna open up if you spend the money on it.
I think it's interesting, but I want it to fail because there's going to be bands that I like a lot more than ABBA who I'm going to feel I need to go and see.
But it's like a residency thing, right? It'll be there for
they're
going to
have to change the ABBA one. It can't be ABBA Voyage for the whole time.
What did they say they were going to do? There was one that was lined up to take its place. It wasn't Michael Jackson. Queen, maybe.
Well, how are they going to record the motion capture for Queen?
Well, they've got that special space now.
Get Adam Lambert in, but then he'll appear as Freddie.
But they will. That's the thing, they will. And
Remy Malek will go up and do it.
Remy Malek,
Is that another creepy thing, though? That ABBA thing, they could all be dead and gone. And that could still be going. Isn't that sort of like weird, like ghoulish almost?
That's the way that they keep making money. It's like, well, if you put a record out and then you die, like... the Beatles still make money. John Lennon still makes money from his,
Yeah, but I'm not
just
going
a
to see...
visual version of an album, isn't
I'm not going to see him. And in fact, when Paul McCartney does a song where there's like a video of John Lennon,
are they going to do that when I see them? I don't want to see that.
I find that really
gross,
creepy.
Yeah.
I didn't like that
Does
at all.
he sing to the screen as if it's John?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Yikes.
Didn't they not like each other?
Hello, there he is.
At the end. Didn't they not like each other at the end? Weren't they just like not friends?
Yeah.
It's like, wheel him up there. Yeah, we were great.
Oh, didn't they do a Beatles AI song? How did they do that thing when they made that old song into a new song? They pulled the old tapes.
Peter Jackson got involved in.
Well, that's what this is, because it's the footage of the rooftop gig, but then using AI they isolate Lennon's audio, so
Just
that's
leave
why
it.
you're not
Just
hearing
leave
everything
it,
else. You're
you
hearing
know.
that, and then
So that's
McCartney
the
and
same
band
thing as
sing
that
live.
Oasis thing, where it's like we're just trying to scrape every ounce that we can out of it because it once was really good. I mean, obviously, we're going to go to the gig and we're going to relive it because we can, we're advantaged enough to do that. But the idea of like them not making something else but pulling old stuff forward seems just a bit odd, doesn't it?
I'm more into the idea of an ABBA-esque Oasis than I am into AI Oasis music. And it's that creativity needs to be there. There has to be some element of that human element, otherwise
Spark,
it's
yeah.
worthless.
Yeah.
It's pointless. Like, yeah, have a live band playing the music.
But then who's
And use
playing the
the best
music on the
vocals.
stage? Because at ABBA, there's no instruments in ABBA. So it makes sense to have the band off to the side. But if Oasis, I've got fake guitars and there's a guy on the
You
right
got
playing
a
a
fake
guitar.
Griggsy on stage. You got a fake.
Griggsy's not going to sign off on his life rights. to
No,
be like-
he will.
He will.
Well,
He'll be
yeah,
first
he's-
queuing up.
Yeah.
He's championing the whole project.
Yeah, what's Malcolm McDonald, the first drummer? He's
Tony McCarroll.
yeah, he's like desperate for it. He needs the money.
Yeah, because he's only got his £500,000 from suing them.
Yeah,
all the way
exactly.
back.
But
Yeah.
that also could happen in this AI show, which is they kick him out of the band, and then the next
Ooh.
they come back, and
Yeah,
the lights
Alan
go down,
White.
comes back, and then they've
Yeah.
got
He just
someone
that'd
else
be
in.
to another version.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Star Trek or something.
Yeah,
like.
you're gone, mate.
You get
You're
Ringo
gone.
Starr up there, like
You're out.
whatever. Yeah.
Get him playing it in Stratford every day. Digital
All the
Liam out
lads
there.
piling in every day.
Sound just Nebworth. You just do Nebworth live.
Yeah, definitely.
The Oasis Nebworth experience voyage.
It would just go off. It's not built for that. It's built for like, mums to. Oh, I remember Dancing Queen from 1978.
Is it not weird that obviously you go and see a live band and they feed off the energy of the crowd, they react to the crowd, whereas this obviously doesn't change. So you could be going wild or no one could be
We were
there. Is that
having
not
fun.
sort of slightly weird though?
That
Yeah.
was weird because you could tell the confliction within the whole thing, and people seated didn't stand up, and people weren't dancing. Oh, the weirdest thing was that if you got your phone out and filmed it, there was like a whole bunch of staff behind you, and they would cut through the crowd and take your phone away.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's good. I'd like that every
but
gig.
it's weird.
I'd like that at
because
Wembley.
You're
when
trying
we
to
go.
enjoy yourself, and there's obviously people that have had way
Yeah.
too much at this ABBA Voyage,
Yeah.
and they're just like, "Oh yeah, I know Waterloo," and someone, "Oh, what are you doing?" And then you've just got people scrapping like all over
Oh,
the thing.
That'd be funny though if you were like at the gig or something, a fight's breaking out and Digital Bjorn's up there
Just like,
talking.
"Don't
Some
do this."
woman having a fit in the
Cease.
stairway, and it's just like
A giant
he
Bjorn
keeps
head
going.
comes up.
How was the traffic? It's like a crisis going on.
The whole thing's giving me very like Tron vibes.
Yep.
That's the whole point, isn't it?
Like-
It's
like-
meant to look
you-
like Tron.
But you're saying, oh, in the seats, like no one was stood up. How do you know they were real people? And that could have been like an AI
Now you're
projection
messing with
as
it.
well.
I don't,
But it
did
could,
I
everything
even
could
go?
have been.
Did I
yeah.
just stay at home in the bath and just in the water tank? And it was
Yeah.
all
True
VR.
Zion.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're real people. To be honest, I'm pretty confident about that because I could have bought seats, and I was like, no, I'll get standing because we'll have such a laugh and we'll dance. And it was just like me and Jenny just trying to make people dance around us. Be like,
if people were looking down and being like, "Oh, look at the CGI down
Yeah,
there."
the
Yeah.
AI standing.
They're not
well, they
real
can't
people
dance,
down
can
there.
they? They were really robotic.
What's the original point? It was the AI and Oasis.
Yeah, not a
And-
good thing.
This
We
is far
decided.
less interesting
Shite.
than ABBA Voyage.
Yeah.
is what we've learned.
Yeah,
But
sorry, Bjorn.
speaking of a thing of, it's not AI, but
I like it.
it was like it was something a few years ago, maybe like 2000, early 2010s, maybe. It was a guy who claimed to have time traveled to a timeline where the Beatles never broke up and they made music. And he claims that he went there and he came back with a recording of an Oasis song, not Oasis, Beatles song, I think from the 70s or the 80s.
Yeah.
And like played it, and it's
And
kind
it's
of
temporary
like
secretary.
it's kind of like a bit like kind of proggy and stuff. I'll
Can we
try
listen to
find a
that?
link. Yes, let's do that.
Yeah.
Let's do that. So that was Everyday Chemistry, the Beatles album that never was.
It never should have
Which-
been. It never should have been.
Incredible.
That was brought a lot of joy to us today.
It
That's
came
been-
out in 2009. It was discovered and brought back to our time in 2009
Yeah.
on a web and was it was put on a website called the BeatlesNeverBrokeUp.com and made available. So the fictional story is a guy travelled between a different timeline and brought that back, and the Beatles had never broke up.
Thank God he did.
The first song was just Band on the Run.
With
Yeah, it
the
was just Band on the
distortion,
Run.
with the stuff laid
Yeah,
on it.
like in the water of a bath.
But I guess at the time, back in the day when you were recording stuff, it's 2009. We could do it now easily to set all this stuff up for nothing really. But back then, you'd have to commit so much time to actually record something to a quality to try and convince people. So someone spent time making this fake Beatles
Or no
album.
time, by the sound of it.
Like, I don't.
That
It's
was
probably it's
incredible.
definitely like a joke kind of thing, an art piece maybe. But like,
Like a Blair
so
Witch.
what's the point? Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, is it real?
Is it?
But you know,
It's definitely not.
You know, there's some people who were like, well, Band on the Run would have been a Beatles song if the Beatles didn't split up. It's like, it makes sense. So just have it.
So they could have just done Wings, just the whole Wings album.
Wings, yeah.
Mate,
The
yeah,
band the
they-
Beatles could have been.
Yeah, imagine. You do it all.
On one album as well. Really disjointed.
Wonderful
Yeah.
Christmas Time.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ringo's song, She's 14.
Got my mind set on you. That's in there as well.
That's what it sounded like. It sounded like all of those put together.
It was. Yeah,
Wow.
but that was it. But before AI, we had that. We had hoaxes.
Hoaxes were fun. I
Yeah.
liked hoaxes.
Yeah. Now you could just make a Beatles album, and probably
There's
get that out.
there's no soul in that. Bring back hoaxes is what I'm going to
Yeah.
say for this episode. You know,
Yeah, we
bring
want
back
that
people trying to trick us rather than just doing something that
Yeah.
kind of sounds nothing like it.
The days of fake screenshots of old video game consoles. It's like the next PlayStation.
Oh, the
it's gonna have
Xbox
5
720 or
CD
whatever.
changes in it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, it's good
looks
fun.
like a toaster. Take us back to those days. Take us to the trickery and the deception.
Did you
Yeah.
ever have the rumor that after Channel 5 launched, Sky 1 was going to come on Channel 6? That went around basically my entire childhood life, which looking back, it's like Sky's entire business model is you pay for fucking
Yeah.
Sky.
Yeah.
So
The sixth
the idea
channel
they
that we
could just
never
give the
got.
channel away for free. But that literally went around for years and years. Oh yeah, my dad knows someone. Yeah, Sky 1's going to be Channel 6.
That's just kids who wanted to watch Simpsons.
Yeah.
There's that little hope. It's like,
Yeah.
I
you're too
love them.
poor to
I'm
watch
trying to think of like
Simpsons.
other bullshit lies of things like that at school. It's like, you
Well,
have
there's the classic Marilyn Manson ribs.
yeah, the ribs
Yeah.
one, which
Yeah.
Prince apparently also had that same rumor.
So that was a joke 20
yeah,
years
my
before.
dad has one as well. The same one with the guy getting his stomach pumped. Whoever we've had that rumor of, my dad had a different person for it. 'Cause I remember
Okay.
telling my dad once, "Oh, this guy got his stomach," and he's like, "No, that was a rumor when I was a kid. It's an urban myth." The newest urban myth was that girl who went on that hen do and the dad off.
Oh.
That's going to be one that's going to go throughout the years, and like my nieces and nephews will tell random stories like that or hear things.
What was the other one that was a lot tamer than that, but it was about 3 or 4 years ago, where someone like went up the Shard on a date and they brought a bottle of champagne or wine,
Oh yeah,
and it was like £1,000 and they didn't know it was £1,000 or something, and
yeah,
it went around as like a voice note.
yeah.
So it sounded like it was a real thing, and you're like, "Oh my god, can you imagine someone did this?" And they had to like clean the bar to pay the tab or
Yeah.
something, and it was all just.
And
a
then the
hoax.
Shard like, this never happened.
Yeah.
There's no record.
We're
of
not
this.
fun like that.
They just
We wouldn't
kill
make that mistake.
Okay. Another great episode. Although I've got one bone to pick. He never shook my hand when I beat him at the quiz. And remember when I lost, I was so magnanimous in defeat. So
Yeah, good
well
show,
done, well
guys.
done.
Good
You know,
show.
fair play.
Yeah.
Good game.
Yeah.
good battle. Good
And to
battle.
the quizmaster himself as well. Great questions. Really
Yeah.
entertaining.
Questions were
Yeah.
shite. And he never shook my hand about it.
Chill the still.
I shake your hand.
No, he should because he
Oh,
lost.
Well, why are you telling me?
Well, I'm telling him because you're in charge of the quiz.
Shake his
format.
hand.
You're,
Shake his hand, boy.
you're Chris Tarrant.
We'll shake hands.
Well, it's everything for this evening. Who wants to be
Whoa. Right. Thank you very much for joining us this time around. If you'd like to follow us on social media, all the details are on your screen right now. This was a Mad for It podcast. The boys on the road to Wembley to see Oasis live in 2025.
Mad for it. Like 6 songs over the top of each other. Oh, man. This is for timeline. Wow.